Welcome to Kentucky Football Nation. Well, I was trying to find a video to do. Let's rank coaches in the modern era. Let's start off in 1975. Since 1975, we have had 8 coaches. So let's rank those 8 coaches in order, okay, from worst to first. So number 8, at the very bottom, Joker Phillips. Handed the job, which, he was the offensive coordinator. He played for Kentucky, alumni, wide receiver on the 84 team, the Hall of Fame Bowl, good player, good recruiter, not such a good head coach. Okay, 13-24, 4-20 in the SEC. Okay, awful. 2 of those wins were Tennessee and Auburn. But yeah, he beat Tennessee running the option with a wide receiver because we didn't even have a backup quarterback was hurt. So he did get 2 of these wins are impressive, but talent level was awful. I mean, getting beat that last game, Vanderbilt, 40-0. I mean, our talent level was so bad. That's all I got to say about him. That did not work. 7, Guy Morris. Only coached for 2 years. We were on probation. Guys, 2-9 the first year in 01. Now in 02, he was 7-5. Should have been 8-4. We were on probation. Jared Lorenzen. That was the LSU Bluegrass Miracle where we had the game won. We dumped Gatorade on Guy Morris. We were celebrating. They had one play. They threw, I don't know how a receiver gets behind our defensive back, and they throw a Hail Mary, and LSU upsets us. And yeah, that was not a memorable game. He was 9-24, 4-12 in the SEC. But that second year, we were good, okay? But we were on probation. It wouldn't have mattered. So that's 7. Number 6 here, and Bill Curry. Okay, Bill Curry, 1990 to 1996. 26-52. 14-40 in the SEC. Best year we were 6-5, 6-6, 93. We lost Peach Bowl. So 6-6. Never, this guy came from Alabama. Okay, now he was a good man. Smart guy, looked the part, acted the part. 26-10 in Alabama, 9-3, 10-2. They still fired him. You know why? Because he lost to Auburn both those years. Could not beat Auburn. Unacceptable. You're gone. So we got him, and I thought, oh my God, we just got Alabama's coach. And I remember I was stationed in Montgomery, Alabama, and a guy goes, "You can have him." And I was thinking, what? Well, then what do you mean we can have him? So I guess they knew something we didn't know. But look, the guy kept trying to run the option, okay? He wanted to line up and run the football. Run the option and the triple option. Every year, Colorado did it and won a national championship. So you had Steve Spurrier who came in and was throwing the ball. People were starting to throw the ball, mix in the pass and the run. Bill Curry wanted to, run the ball. We had Mo Williams, probably the best running back, pure running back in my lifetime. They knew he was going to get the ball, and he's still most yards from scrimmage in a game, 299. Of course, he ran a kickback. He caught a pass for a touchdown in a game. Yeah, I've got a video on Mo Williams, the game where he had 299 total yards. We barely won 38-35. But no, he had Mo Williams, which that guy, 10 years in the NFL, if you don't know who Mo Williams is. But no, Bill Curry, 6 years here as coach, and it never worked. And we were getting embarrassed on national TV. We got to be 72-7. Go look up my Steve Spurrier and Bill Curry beef video. I'll tell you why Steve Spurrier wanted to stick it to Bill Curry. It was personal. Go back and watch the video. It's in my archives. Just type in Steve Spurrier and you'll see why. But no, 65-0. Put Tim Couch in the option in Gainesville. Oh my God, dude. I mean, we were bad. Us and Indiana. That'd be the only game that both of us had a chance of winning. Well, they had Bill Mallory, so he did have one good year. I think he won 8. But yeah, we were bad, and we didn't get any better. Once again, we never beat Tennessee. We never beat Florida. Yeah, it was a struggle. And so what did we do? Let's go. That's number 6. All right, let's go to number 5. Then we went to Hal Mumme. Okay, I loved Hal Mumme. When we hired Hal Mumme, Paul Feinbaum was on the radio in Birmingham, and of course he said it was a stupid hire. It'd never work. The offense he ran a hybrid of BYU offense where you throw the ball. So Lavelle Edwards. I remember the internet first came out, and I went on and I found a Valdosta football playbook, and I looked at the plays, and I was like, okay, they're in the shotgun every play. And then everybody went out in the pattern. Every play was like this, everybody. And I was like, and people didn't know what to do with it. First year, we went 5-6. We beat Alabama, okay. Now, we did block a kick. Anwar Stewart, Coach Anwar Stewart, blocked a kick and ran it back to get it in overtime, and we won, but we won. We had Tim Couch, and, Tim Couch was going to leave, and they convinced him to stay, and Hal Mumme said, hey, look, man, we're going to throw the ball to 40 times a game. And back then, 40 times, now that's nothing. Back then, look, the offense that he brought in, the air raid, it got in the DNA of everybody, all of football, all the way up to the pros eventually. That's how good Hal Mumme was. Now, he cheated. And he got caught. And I never understood. Look, everybody cheated back then. But you got to be good at it, okay? You can't have your recruiting coordinator going to a Lexington post office and getting money orders, okay? Not a good idea. I think they recognized it, okay? It was leaked to the news media. Of course, the media turned us in. So I remember being in Montgomery, Alabama, and a guy goes, and when we went on probation in basketball, a guy goes, no, that would never happen here. A newspaper reporter turning us in because it wouldn't go well for him. So the media in Alabama down south knew you don't turn in Alabama and Auburn, okay? As a matter of fact, I'll go as far to say they looked away on a lot of stuff. So we had our media. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying our media was trying to catch us cheating. Their media is helping them cheat. Okay. Hello. Yeah. So yeah, disadvantage. But I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm just saying I was there. I was down there, and that's the way it was. Okay. Yeah, I remember a guy said that to me, and I thought, what? Your media doesn't try and go after the truth? And no. But Hal Mumme, beat Alabama. Tim Couch, we went 7-5. We played Penn State New Year's. We hadn't played at a New Year's Day bowl since God knows when. Tim Couch is up for the Heisman. I remember Hal Mumme was the best dude, man. Best personality of any of these coaches. I remember they said Tim Couch's throwing motion is all, they were analyzing on ESPN. They go, because he would teach you, when you got the ball, you would put it up behind your head in a throwing motion ready to throw. And I remember they said, his throwing motion is all wrong. And then Hal Mumme said, well, damn, the guy threw for how many thousand yards, best quarterback in history of school. Imagine if I would have taught to teach him how to throw correctly, how many yards he would have had. Yeah, I remember that. Hal Mumme, famously took a hot dog out to meet the LSU quarterback at the 50-yard line just to mess with him. I mean, there's a Paul Feinbaum story with him and Paul Feinbaum. That's in my archives. He tells the story about meeting Paul Feinbaum, who, after he beat Alabama, then wanted to interview him. So, yeah. So, no, those were some exciting times, guys. Those were exciting times, but it didn't last, and we couldn't run the ball. So what happened was teams figured us out, okay? For 2 years, the air raid worked great. The last 2 years, 6-5, 2-9. Because they figured it out, okay? You got to be able to run the ball. I remember that. So, number 5. So we went Joker Phillips, Guy Morse, Bill Curry. Number 5, Hal Mumme. Now we'll get into the top 4. And 3 and 4 you could do. I'm going to go for Jerry Claiborne, okay? Wide tackle 6 defense. But Jerry Claiborne, now, I will say this. I probably should have put him 3. But I put him 4. He was coach from 1982 to 1989. During the 80s, he went 41, 46, and 3. 13 and 37 in SEC. But we were competitive. Now, his first year, he was 0-10, 0-10 and 1. He went from 0-10 and 1 to 6-5 to 84, 8-4 in the Hall of Fame Bowl. So he got us righted the ship. Now, he couldn't maintain it. Once again, it's the 80s. We're a basketball school. I hate to say that. But yeah, 13 and 37 in the SEC. Now, he did win some games against, he would beat Tennessee. He would beat Florida. He would beat Georgia. So we would win some games. And we were competitive. We weren't getting blown off the field in every one of those games. So yeah, Bill Ransell was the quarterback. So yeah, we had some good quarterbacks then. So yeah, now, all in all, I could have put him third, but I'll put him fourth. But yeah, going from 10-1 to 6-5 to 8-4 back then was miraculous, and that was good. Just couldn't, hard to maintain it. So number 3, I had Fran Curci. He was coach from 73 to 81. He was 47 and 51 and 2. That was his record. 47, 51 and 2. 25 and 30 in the SEC. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Now, the problem is we went 8-4 in 1976. We went on probation. Okay, so we're on probation in 1977. We go 10-1. We beat Penn State. We're tied, and SEC champ. We're tied for number 1 SEC champs, but it didn't count because we were cheating, and ended up 8th at the end of the year in the top 10 in the poll. And we had Frank Ramsey, and we had Art Still, and we were good. We lost to Baylor that year. Baylor, okay? Went undefeated in the SEC. When's that going to happen again? But no, they cheated. So, he lasted until 1981, of course. And I will say this, his last game, we beat Tennessee. So he went out. We were pretty bad at the end there. The last 80, 81. Yeah, we were 2-9 or whatever. So he kind of flamed out. But yeah, I got Fran Curci, number 3. Number 2, Rich Brooks, coming off probation. He was 39 and 47, 16 and 40 in the SEC, which sounds awful. But once again, he started off with, we're on probation. I didn't even know if he was going to be able to stay the coach. We did go to 4 straight bowl games, which hadn't been done in my lifetime since not even in the 70s did we go to 4 straight. And we won 3 or 4 bowl games. And we beat Florida State, and we beat Clemson. We beat some good teams. So we beat the number 1 team. We beat LSU, who was ranked number 1. They still won the national championship, but we beat them. So we beat the number 1 school, and we beat Louisville. So Louisville was kicking our butt, and he turned that around. So I'll give him that. So he did well. And he set the stage for really Mark Stoops. Yeah, we had to go through Joker Phillips, but then he kind of set it up for Mark Stoops, okay? So yeah, 39 and 47. Not bad, Rich Brooks. And it was changing the culture. Then we had a little speed bump there. Mark Stoops, 72 and 80. He had 10 wins vacated. Okay, so you could say 82 and 80. 2021, 10 wins vacated because Chris Rodriguez was working at the UK hospital, and he was ghost employment. Somebody was clocking him in, and he wasn't really working. Now that would be nothing. But yeah, it vacated. It was an illegal player. So yeah, 72 and 80, 38 and 68 in SEC, which sounds bad, 68 losses. But a third of those losses were the first 4 years. I mean, we were awful. Now, what did he do? He started beating Florida on a regular basis. Once you understand, he broke this Florida streak. He beat Tennessee twice. We beat LSU. So yeah, we were beating some people. And we were competitive in other games that we lost. I remember losing at Texas A&M. There's some games that we could have won that we didn't. So even though you go, 38 and 68, but no. One thing he brought was we would win games at the end. Well, before, we would lose a game at the end. Bill Curry, even Hal Mumme, look, we were going to lose. But when he came in, the cry was run the ball. So let's backtrack. Back to Hal Mumme. What we learned from the air raid was we're not going to outscore people. I keep saying that with Will Stein. We're not going to what we learned is, we were putting 35 points on Florida, Tennessee, and we would get beat 59-35 by Tennessee. And, at first it was like, okay, cool. We scored 35 points, but then after a while, it's like, it happened every year. You're like, man, we're giving up a lot of points. Yeah, we couldn't run the football. So then when Rich Brooks came in, he's like, hey, we got to run the football. And then, of course, Mark Stoops, we got to do both. So, yeah, you have to have a balanced offense. But number 1 is Mark Stoops. So I got Mark Stoops 1, Rich Brooks 2, Frank Curci 3, Jerry Claiborne 4. You could flip those. Hal Mumme 5, Bill Curry 6, Guy Moore 7, and Joker Phillips 8. So tell me what you think, what your order would be or what you would change. I could change Jerry Claiborne and Fran Curci there, but it's probably close. But look, it's Mark Stoops and Rich Brooks as far as the modern era, and just being able to accomplish what they did. And the two, if Hal Mumme would not have got caught cheating. I mean, look, they were catching up to him. He was going to have to change his offense anyway. But, you know, if he wouldn't have cheated, and I was too young. You could tell me about Fran Curci, you guys. I was young. I was 10 years old in 1976. I don't remember anything. I don't ever remember us being on national TV, ever. Of course, 77, we wouldn't have been because we're on probation. Although I think the Penn State game might have been, you know, going to Penn State and winning against Joe Paterno. That was amazing. I got some shorts from that. I'll put some more on. But anyway, that's my coaches. Where's Will Stein? Well, we'll see what Will Stein, where will he end up? Hopefully at the top, right? Hopefully he gets the most wins. But we'll see, okay? It's the great unknown. He's never coached before. He set himself up pretty good in recruiting, set himself up, so he's set up to win. But we set other people up to win, and they didn't. So hopefully he will, and we'll find out. All right. Once again, hit that like and subscribe button. We'll do at least one live every week, okay, until the first game, until Youngstown State. And then we'll do a watch party for Youngstown State. I'll try to think of some videos to do, guys. I just thought about this, ranking these coaches. I was just sitting here thinking back as I sat here and rambled on about these coaches. It's just my thought about what happened because I lived through it, as some of you probably did. And if you didn't live through some of that, be glad you didn't. All right, guys. You know, once again, hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.